This is Jack Maxey sitting in the catbird seat here for Stephen K. Bannon. Welcome back to the War Room Pandemic. Today's episode 276, second in our Saturday special, Voices from China, Hong Kong. Will America confront the CCP? We are pleased to be on America's Voice News on Dish 219, Newsmax TV, John Frederick's Radio Network, Chicago FM 103.9, and blown through the CCP's firewall, translated into Mandarin by G News and Guo Media. I'm handing it over to Stephen K. Bannon on assignment on the high seas.
I want to ask, we've got Lee on the, thanks Jack, we've got Lee on the line. He's part of the whistleblower movement, one of these young people from mainland China that have been so essential to really bringing the truth to the West. Before we get back to Lee, I got to turn to Miles. Miles, I first met you after the White House, after I left the White House in the fall of 2017. And at the time you were telling me about this idea about the whistleblower movement. Today, it's literally tens of thousands, not hundreds of thousands or millions of people that are every day giving information to your team to be able to put up about the Chinese Communist Party and what the reality of the Chinese Communist Party is. It's just been incredible. Did you ever think at the time, and it's been highlighted by this young woman, Dr. Yan, who left Hong Kong, where she was in a lab directly overseeing the Wuhan lab. She's been probably the most controversial whistleblower that's broken out. This exclusive interview she did on Fox News is now going viral throughout the world. When you started it, did you ever think the whistleblower movement would get as big as it is today and have as big an impact in just a couple of years?
Yes, sir. Sure. Nobody said Miles Guo. I paid 170 billion assets. I lose. My family, my wife, go to jail. My daughter 2 times go back to jail. My 2 brothers now still in jail, and my 270 staff get lost, freedom, go to jail. I lost everything. So it's why nobody think, think double spy. No spy can pay this cost to do this, the anti-CCP, the movement. Day one, I know we can make it happen. Because everything before 30 years, since Tiananmen Square in 1989, they sent me go to jail. I'm 22 months on the jail. I nearly die. I go back. I have the permit. I must be taken down CCP. I prepare 30 years. My brother, because of the Tiananmen Square, died. Then it's the last years, they make a threaten, a failure, my mother died. Nobody, you can for one tiger, mother died, brother go to jail, 207 people go to jail, you lose 170 million. It's 170 billion assets. Why? I believe we need to take down CCP. We can't take down CCP. Everything decision by, I know, CCP is 30 years. I prepared today the war 30 years. That's why I know CCP, all the regime inside, how can operate. I know CCP is the paper tiger. I know CCP must be to take down CCP. CCP die, must be back CCP.
Okay, hang on a second. I mentioned this book, Clive Hamilton's book, but his book goes through London, New York, Washington, Toronto, Vancouver, that the hidden hand of CCPs everywhere. How can you, and he documents it. So now it's just not Miles Guo. We have a named author that goes through all of it, and you can see it in public records. Knowing that that hidden hand is everywhere, why do you continue to say the CCP is a paper tiger? If you see what their influence is, if you see how deeply they're into Wall Street, how deeply they're into corporate America, how deeply they're into London, how deeply they're into the party of Davos, the political establishment, the financial establishment, the cultural establishment, the entertainment, you continue to say, no, but you're wrong. They're everywhere, but they're a paper tiger. Why do you say that?
Sir, that's a good question. American West was the eagle. CCP is snake. Eagle never fly the lower. Snake never can fly the sky. CCP is the goat. Only work operate in the nighttime. Eagle is all work in the daytime. That's totally different. They are the bad guy. They are the ghost. CCP in the Western world is the power. Everything is dark. It's still the ghost. But don't forget, CCP is still alive. 70 years kidnap CCP, Chinese 1.4 billion people. They can in all everywhere have the power and force. Not a CCP. It's American West world greedy guy. You make the CCP happen there. I never think the CCP can have in China kidnap Chinese. 1.4 people can murder one day because you America, Wall Street, media, and small rich group and biology tycoon company help the CCP there. Everything fundamentally reason by your American dollar, American technology, American Wall Street, American media.
So you're saying it's totally within our purview. When you say kidnapped, when the Chinese Communist Party beat the Kuomintang back in the Civil War, they promised, and you say, look, I know there was a lot of people in the media, a lot of people in the State Department. This got to be a huge controversy in the 1950s. It really started the McCarthy era. Who lost China? Edgar Snow's Red Star Rising over China, a lot of the coverage of the Chinese Communist Party movement said they're going to have land reform, they're going to have democracy, they're going to provide freedom. For 4,000 years of the Chinese people, you either had the emperors or you had Sun Yat-sen who couldn't deliver it, you had the warlords, you had the Japanese, the Kuomintang was totally corrupt, that Mao Zedong, Zhou Enlai, and these great communists are finally going to bring land reform, freedom for old 100 names, democracy, all of it. Actually, you gave me a document. Mao Zedong said we're actually going to have a constitution. So when you say kidnap, the West kind of supported this happening, except for certain elements in the United States that said, "Hey, this is terrible." Why do you say they kidnapped? Haven't they come through on all those promises? Haven't they delivered land reform? Didn't they deliver rule of law? Didn't they deliver? They wrote a constitution. Mao brags about his constitution.
Sir, good question. Now, today, if you ask the Chinese, all the inside power people, 90 million CCP members, even President Trump standing up, I want to take down CCP. I want the CCP to take responsibility for American people to die. Coronavirus, CCP immediately killed the CCP. That's now, okay? Before Obama president do standing, help the CCP economy, to give it, also the Western, what is the name? What's the name?
Western technology?
Biden, right? That's Biden. Even do close to CCP and Xi Jinping.
When Biden gets so
CCP say, I have best friends of Obama.
He had 30 meetings with Xi.
With Biden help us as my friend. So inside the CCP, I don't touch the guy. American behind supposed Xi Jinping. Before Bill Clinton, Bush, all the president, I have a best relationship with the Hu Jintao, with the China. So inside people, I cannot say anything. American behind support the CCP. They go back into the Tiananmen Square. First Bush say, with no sanction, Tiananmen Square, die people, no problem. Now, Hong Kong, even you don't say anything. They security law, extradition law, gun raper people. The Americans don't stand up say anything. Everything CCP have the power, kidnap Chinese because American behind support CCP. That's America's huge criminal. I was Buddhist. America got the coronavirus, the people die. That's this is the reincarnation. This is karma.
You're saying because certain elements in America.
We are trouble. All the from you America. All the from you White House.
You're saying
we are get kidnapped. All the from you America.
You're saying that all the political elites have supported CCP and its rise, and that it is. You say they're a paper tiger because I just want to be clear about this. If we remove the capital support, if we move the technology support, and if we remove the market access, they would collapse.
Immediately. What is the paper tiger? Paper tiger there can make a fair case because the mother says this is real tiger. The real tiger. Even the mother says case. This is the paper tiger. The case immediately was down. Now it's American government liar to war, liar to America. CCP powerful, we cannot touch. This is real tiger. That's your. You make the criminal now very bad reincarnation karma come in your country. Coronavirus, Antifa. The paper tiger now is really going to eat you because you give it bigger blood. Maybe now it's a real tiger. Since now you need to immediately talk to America. This tiger is a paper tiger. We need to take it down. That's the American future. That's the truth.
Let me go to Richard. Richard, you're part of the whistleblower movement. You've been a real student looking at this Hong Kong situation. You just heard Miles. You know, over this next week, the President of the United States and the administration is going to have to come to some very tough decisions about what to do in Hong Kong. There's some very good news on Friday where President Trump said, hey, there's no second phase of this Chinese trade deal. I'm not even thinking about it. China's had very bad behavior to us. Finally, I think we're getting some awakening of what the issues are. But Richard, Lee, I'd like to ask you, what do you think, if you had to make a recommendation to the people of the United States, Lee, what would be your recommendation that America should do vis-a-vis Hong Kong right now?
I think first, America should decouple economically from China and Hong Kong. That includes unpack the US dollar to the Hong Kong dollar, break the peg, first of all. Second, sanction the Hong Kong banks. Without banks, the Hong Kong economy wouldn't function. And third, sanction Chinese Communist Party officials responsible for suppressing freedoms in Hong Kong and in China. And last, to make it clear that the enemy of America is not China, is not the Chinese people, but the enemy of the world is the Chinese Communist Party. To make that distinction clear and to go after only the Chinese Communist Party, and more specifically, the kleptocrat families inside the Chinese Communist Party, such as Wang Qishan. And once you have the target set, your weapon is your economic decoupling. That includes technological decoupling, stops American companies from supplying China with technology to build an internet firewall. Once all that is set in stone, the CCP's days are numbered, Mr. Bannon.
Lee, let me ask you, we got a couple of minutes here before we got a break. People argue in the United States, if you decouple the Hong Kong dollar, if you sanction the banks, forget the individual, if you sanction these financial institutions and decouple the dollar, the biggest victim is going to be the Hong Kong people. The Hong Kong economy is going to collapse. The biggest victim is going to be the Hong Kong people. Lee, what do you say to that argument, that your recommendation is going to hurt the Hong Kong people and not so much the CCP?
It is not America, it is not the world that's hurting the people of Hong Kong. It is the thug police in Hong Kong that are on the street arresting students, torturing them, raping them in jails. It's the CCP that are against the people of Hong Kong and the people of the world. And right now, I think, frankly, the world doesn't have a choice. You have the national security law passed. The CCP has made it clear their intention to go after not just Hong Kong, but the people of the world. So, it is now or never. You either have to decouple from this evil regime to not do business with people who are kidnappers, who are rapers, who are human rights violators, or you face the same consequences of what people suffer in Hong Kong, which is, we have a coronavirus, we have Antifa in the U.S. Who knows what else the CCP might come up with in the future? We heard about a new virus emerging from China. There's all sorts of things that the CCP will do to take down America, and they will not stop until we fight back.
This is Jack. I'm just
Lee, thank you very much. Fantastic.
Just interrupting because we've only got about 45 seconds left. Just wanted you guys to know to circle it.
Yeah,
up.
I want to thank Lee, one of the brave heroes from the whistleblower movement.
I love Lee. Thank you.
Just incredible. I mean, the voice and the reason and the logic. It just shows you what great citizens they'll be when they finally get democracy and freedom. Jack, I want to turn it back over to you to take us out. We're going to be back in a moment with more victims, more voices of the Chinese people with Miles Guo and Stephen K. Bannon here on War Room Pandemic.
Okay, guys, we're going to cut for a commercial break, but join us back so you can listen to some of these brave stories that should inspire all of us. Amazing stuff. Back in a minute.
War Room with Stephen K. Bannon. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
This is Jack Maxey sitting in the chair for Stephen K. Bannon. Welcome back to War Room Pandemic. Today's episode 276, Hong Kong. Will America confront the CCP? Special guest Miles Guo with Steve reporting from the high seas. And we'd like to welcome a new guest, a dissident from China, Moli. Back to you, Steve.
We're going to get to Moli. Yeah, we're going to get to Moli in 1 second. I got some questions for her, but I want to go back to something Lee said from the whistleblower movement. He recommended what the ultra hawks in the United States have been recommending for a while about Hong Kong. The way to handle this and the way the West should do this confrontation is go all in. And the way to do that is decouple, stop the special trade relationship, all of it, right? Decouple from the Hong Kong, break the connection to the Hong Kong dollar to the US dollar, don't make it convertible, right? That will stop the access of dollars to the CCP, sanction the biggest financial institutions, and that would be the Hong Kong Shanghai Bank, but in addition, Bank of China, CITIC, and also was it Penang Group, sanction all those with hard sanctions, and then sanction senior members of the Chinese Communist Party, both those that are hands-on in Hong Kong, but also all the way back up to Beijing. Don't do what we did with the Uyghurs to get some relatively mid-level guys, and don't just sanction Carrie Lam and these hapless bureaucrats in Hong Kong. The question is, Miles, when you talk about this in the United States, the immediate pushback you get is that, oh, all you're going to do is really hurt the Hong Kong people. You're going to make Hong Kong an economic and financial wasteland. You're going to take it from the third most important capital market in the world. You're going to destroy any ability of Hong Kong people to make money. This will be a depression on Hong Kong they won't recover from in 50 years. And this is just an overreaction to the security law of what's happening, that the cure that the ultra hawks say in the West is worse than what the disease is. I want to give you a chance to respond to these harsh measures that you've been advocating and others that the ultra hawks have been advocating to confront the CCP in Hong Kong.
Sir, thank you. This is a good question. I think who talk about this, American need a will after this the coronavirus. You need to trial the guy. You talk everything must be have evidence and effect. American dollar decouple Hong Kong dollar and RMB. There's no choice. Just time. Just time. Even today you decouple, next year, just you lose how much blood. CCP is always try threaten America. If you don't anti-CCP, don't talk about me, don't talk about me, I steal your technology, I steal your job. Even you talk about this, your share market come down. Every American president gets threatened, but this is why it's the Wall Street American media as a criminal. You never talk the truth. Why is the propaganda same the talk? All the American is the lobbying company, Wall Street, and the media talk the same thing. Because before CCP put the propaganda, the poison, go to Wall Street, go to media, go to lobbying, go to convince the American White House, all the leaders, Congress. They make the lie again as successful. That's why CCP think America is stupid. You can play the game inside the political pendulum effect. Americans get cheated all 70 years, 50 years, lose you everything. Dollar must not decouple. I think this is not good. It's a recouple. Now it's the decouple because you want real normally relationship with the Chinese, not only some family, not only from Wall Street with the CCP family. Now, last 50, 70 years, say no U.S. relationship, Wall Street media, no more than 100 family, and China CCP 100 family, make all the deal, cover you all the deal. They repair America, repair Chinese. That's the big black benefit group. Hold on, that's the dollar is your fault. You use the dollar, repair America, repair Chinese. This must be recap. Now stop, go back normally relationship, mutual benefit, then go back. Dollar must be linked Hong Kong dollar, must be linked RMB. That's a good future.
Is this what you mean when you say that the CCP is a paper tiger, that if we really put these sanctions in, if we really do this with the U.S. dollar and use the U.S. dollar as the weapon it could be, you believe the CCP will...
60 days.
And you,
no more 60 days.
Hold on, hang on. Miles, you've had some pretty wild forecasts before that all come true. H&A, you said, hey, it's a complete sham. This is one that had a internal value, people talking about, of $1 trillion, right? It owned, I think, 20% of Deutsche Bank. You said it's a total paper company. It's going to collapse and go bankrupt. Guess what? It's in bankruptcy today in China, right? And except that the taxpayers are paying for a subsidiary in the United States with their own money. You said that the Hong Kong what started the street protest was going to lead to a revolution in Hong Kong and a crackdown. And you said the pandemic back in December and early January, this pandemic's going to overwhelm the world and kill millions of people. It's all by the CCP. You're saying today, if we took these harsh measures, the people in Hong Kong really wouldn't go through a depression, because you say the CCP would collapse in 60 days? That they're that big a paper tiger? How could that possibly be?
Sir, last 3 years, I have 2,800 broadcast live videos. I talk many more than you talk. Everything is correct. I talk everything, nothing is beside. I'm as a feng shui killer. I'm the beside intelligence from CCP inside. If America really decouple RMB, not only decouple Hong Kong dollar, decouple RMB and the dollar, 60 days, Trump president just leave in the White House, CCP crash. That's a paper taker. That's real. If not happen, you kill me, send me to jail. I can make the guarantee there. Even you trust me, I my life. That's why America get the Wall Street dollar behind the richer family in America, kidnap America, and hope CCP kidnap Chinese. China 1.4 billion people. They call free market and we are results. If you want the China market, you need to take down the CCP. You can make a bigger money, clean money, long-term money. Don't give America only 100 family keep the dollars.
Hang on, you're saying that this is regards to taking down the firewall. When we talk about taking down the firewall, people say, well, look, all these American businesses are going to lose all this business. Cisco, IBM, etc. You've made the exact opposite. You've made an opposite argument that you think the stock market would go through the roof because of all the value that would be accreted to the Chinese or to the American online companies.
In America, NASDAQ, top 5 company, all the e-commerce company, okay, website, technology, okay. This is the current world. They get half a trillion improve the value. If China take down the firewall, China 1.4 billion the market can give America tycoon technology company, and the dollar is the 4%, the 5% GDP growth. For sure. You don't need on the table still take the RMB and the money control China market. You don't need the criminal take the benefit. You have a good solution. Take down CCP. No RMB, make a real currency with dollars. American can have 4-5% GDP growth. That's for sure.
Hold on, hang on. If I can hear this correctly, and I want to make sure the audience understands this. You're saying that if the firewall came down, for all the business that the American companies would lose in the firewall coming down, that the Chinese people, given a choice, instead of using Baidu and WeChat and Alibaba and Tencent and all the Chinese companies that are really copies of these American companies, if the firewall came down, the Chinese people would naturally go and use the American companies? Is that what you're saying?
100%. We are must be follow process the common law. That's the CCP want to build a firewall. They don't want the Chinese follow process, follow common law. Even with same the rule of the law, we share all the market. American use the technology company, Chinese need to pay it's pay the technology fee, intellectual property fee.
Intellectual property.
Yeah, American can earn clean money from China. 1.4 billion people, all those supposed that.
But why would Chinese people leave these Chinese companies that are fairly prominent today and go to U.S. companies? Do they not trust that their information is being handled the right way?
But there's no firewall. They like clean the money. They don't want only any money by the CCP control. That's American, some of the family with the CCP family build all the Sino-U.S. relationship, not the Chinese for America. That's why we need to take down all this stupid criminal group with the Sino-U.S., repair the two countries citizens. That's a really good relationship. New federal state want to build normally clean money, share the market by rule of the law, or follow British common law. That's the way our future.
Okay, hang on for a second. We gotta go to another.
No, China never can, touch again. American is the technology because it must be follow British common law.
It's following common law, and then they want access to something that doesn't go the information.
That's the point. Yeah.
I love being the co-host with Miles. Well, I don't have to do any work. I just got to toss a question, and you take the Steve Bannon role. I'm not talking. Okay, we're gonna take a.
Sorry.
No, it's great. This is a monumental decision that's coming up. One of the reasons we pride ourselves on War Room Pandemic is to kind of look over the hill. What's the really big events? The signal, not the noise. The noise is the stuff you see on TV and radio every day that doesn't mean anything in 6 months. We try to take on the most important issues and make sure you see over it. This issue about Hong Kong is coming to a head. You can see President Trump is already changing his mind, at least publicly. He's saying that the CCP is no longer part of this deal. The China deal is no longer part of it. So, Jack, I want to turn it back over to you to take us out. We're going to come back. We're going to talk to some of the more people in China, finally try to get them on, get some time in here. Also talk about the alternative, the new federal state of China. When we return with Miles Guo and Steve Bannon here out on the high seas, I want to turn it back over to you in the War Room, Jack, to take us out.
Sir, I want one talk.
Okay, guys, we're going to step out
to need American
earn some income to keep this thing going. We'll be back in just a few minutes, and maybe we'll get...
War Room with Stephen K. Bannon. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
To War Room Pandemic, today's episode 276, Voices from China. Question for today's show, Hong Kong. Will America confront the CCP? Over to you, Stephen K. Bannon, on the high seas.
Look, we live in turbulent times every day, 6 days a week from 10 a.m. to noon, Eastern Daylight Time on War Room Pandemic. We walk through that turmoil. If you're an entrepreneur, you're going to be one of at the tip of the spear, the vanguard that leads us through this economic inferno. You need every tool in your toolbox, and the tool you need the most is NetSuite by Oracle. Remember, Oracle's #1 on the cloud. NetSuite's the #1 software package for entrepreneurs, whether it's your forecasting, your revenues, your human resources, your capital asset pricing model. This is one software that does it all. Go to netsuite.com/Bannon, Bannon, and get the 7 action steps you need to be taking today as an entrepreneur. That's NetSuite by Oracle. It's the #1 tool for entrepreneurs. Jack, I know you got a question you've been holding for Miles, and since now we're at the bottom of the hour, go ahead and ask it.
Hey, Miles, we get this question constantly because our viewers really want to get their hands on one of the copies of the flag, either bumper stickers or something they can hang on their flagpole right next to the American flag, so we can let everybody know that China is changing and the flag is changing, and deplorables around the world want to show their support. When are we going to find them for sale?
Thank you, Jacob. I really appreciate all the Americans so kind. This is really warm. So will G function, we have website, have the new federal state, this flag. Now I'm not yet get ready to for sale. Later on, I want to give a lot of people. Then we have a super flag that you can buy. I not make a business from that side. Thank you, Jacob. I really appreciate it.
So we'll get that. We're going to have a lot of branding for the new federal state. It's obviously an incredible idea and an incredible movement. We're going to get to that in a second. Molly, while I've got you, I want to introduce Molly. She's part of the whistleblower movement. One of the people who've been monitoring this. Molly is obviously not her real name. If we used her real name, her family would be under attack. Molly, I've got a question for you that a lot of our audience ask all the time. Given the new security law and given the whole year and a half now that the Hong Kong people have been oppressed by the CCP, what's the spirit in Hong Kong still like? Are people still fighting for liberty? Are they still fighting for freedom? Or is there any sense of depression that's come over the Hong Kong people? What's your assessment?
Thank you, Mr. Bannon, for this question. It's my great honor to be here. And to answer your question, definitely. I think definitely they will keep on fighting for their freedom and democracy. And there's no doubt. Because I've been following them since day one. I've been following them since last June. Before they have an umbrella movement, I didn't know much about it until this extradition law come up. I started to following their movement. They've been so brave. They've been so encouraged. They've been great heroes. And I believe even under this national security law, they were still continuing fighting with any ways that they can.
Molly, a last question. Let me ask you, what would you recommend to the American people? What do you think the American people ought to demand of their government to stand up to the CCP? If you had to make a recommendation, what do you think ought to happen here?
I think U.S. government have to untie all the relationship, decoupling, 100%. I totally agree with Mr. Guo's statement because since day one, it's CCP, they use American money to fund it. They use Americans' Wall Street money to fund their military, to support their military. They've been used up all Hong Kongers. They've been sucked it all up. And then finally, they totally ruined, for the past 100 years, Hong Kong, a small fish village, under the British law, under the rule of law, Hong Kong people, with their own hand to create this prosperity, to create this wealth, to build themselves into the third financial center of the world. But without this, without the rule of law, without the freedom, their position is gone. Hong Kong's position is gone. But for the Hong Kong young protesters, as far as I see, they were born free. When they were born, especially for the young generation, actually they were born free. They were born in an environment has the rule of law, has the order, and it's like a baby. They have their own eyes. They can see, they can hear, they can do with their own hands. But what CCP tried to crash down with this national security law is like they try to cover their eyes, they try to block their ears, they try to tie their hands. So for Hong Kong people, they have to learn. They have to learn to survive under the new national law. So I think for the American people, actually from day one, Hong Kong people is fighting for their own freedom. They are so bravely from day one. They have a letter actually to the mainland people. They said, we're not fighting for our independence. We're fighting for the freedom. We're carrying on the spirit of Tiananmen, those young protesters at that time. They said, because it's my duty. It's the right thing to do. That's why you saw all these protesters. I'm sorry. They are 12 years old. They go to protesting without their parents know. He said, at 12 years old, he said, I come out because of my conscience. Because those right policemen, they beat up my brother and sisters. He started to cry. And I saw an 80 years old man try to open his arms in front of the police, try to shoot the protesters. And Mr. Bannon, without law and order, Hong Kong will lose its glory, will lose its advance in the financial world, in the world financial position. But Hong Kong, because of Hong Kong, to become Hong Kong, is not because that area, is not because that piece of land. It's because of the spirit of freedom, and it's because of the human, it's because of the intelligent people. So they will create wealth. They will create with their talent anywhere else who have a rule of law. That's all they ask for. That's all they ask for. Thank you.
Molly, thank you so much. A very powerful testament
And
to what's going
If I can
Yes.
borrow a few more minutes to answer your
Yes,
question
sure.
about, you asked Mr. Guo earlier about you think Chinese people are they ready for the democracy and freedom?
Yes.
And I can say, if German Nazi believed that Jewish people wasn't ready with freedom and democracy, there will be no Israel. If Southern Americans, they don't believe black people deserve freedom and democracy, there wouldn't be United States as today's United States. So I think Hong Kong gives us a very great demo of what Chinese people can do under the rule of law and under democracy. Taiwan people give us another very good example how Chinese people perform under the rule of law and democracy. But Hong Kong is Hong Kong, Taiwan is Taiwan, right? And I believe you guys have heard enough with CCP's lies. Talking is cheap. So give Chinese a chance. Give China a chance. Take down the firewall. Decoupling. Stop bleeding. Stop feeding them with your capital, with Wall Street's capital, because they already sucked up Chinese people's blood. They will come through Wall Street to suck up your 401k, to suck up your retirement funds. They are doing the same thing. And give Chinese people a chance to show you what Chinese people can do under rule of law and under democracy and under the order. We want to merge into the Western civilized world. We want to be peaceful. Chinese people never want to challenge any country. I'm from mainland. I love Hong Kong. I love Taiwan. I feel heartbroken with those protesters. Hong Kong used to be the most safe city in the whole world. I believe whoever has been to Hong Kong, they believe it's such a beautiful and safe city. But for the last year, almost 10,000 protesters then commit suicide without question, without suspicion. How can you believe that? What happened in Hong Kong is anti-humanity, is a humanitarian crisis. So stop supporting them with Wall Street money. That's all I have to say.
Molly, thank you very much. I tell you, the powerful witness that you've just provided to the American audience and the audience throughout the world, we can't thank you enough. Thank you for risking everything, your safety, the safety of your family, to speak out, to come on this show and to fight every day. I know you're fighting as part of the whistleblower movement. So Molly, from all the American people, let me say thank you for everything you're doing.
No, thank you guys so much to listen to us. You don't know there are so many slaves in China. They never have a chance to voice up. That's why I speak for them. And you see what's happened in America right now is bad. I know it's really bad. But what happened in China, in mainland, is a lot worse. It's a lot worse. You couldn't even get the number in Wuhan, the number of deaths right. You don't know how many people have died in Wuhan from coronavirus. They live in hell. Hong Kong is turning into hell. But if the whole world wouldn't unite together to stop them, Hong Kong will be our future. Hong Kong gives
Molly,
the
thank you
world
so much.
an example. If you don't stop CCP,
Molly,
Molly,
unbelievable.
thank you so much for joining us. Very powerful.
Unbelievable. We have a
Unbelievable.
commercial break
Jack-
coming up. And I just want to say for the people out
Go ahead,
there
Jack.
listening, if this is not heartbreaking, what is? This shows you just, I'm sitting here with tears in my eyes, just inspired like I can't believe. We owe it to the people of China to stand with them and the people of Hong Kong. Moli, we salute you.
War Room with Stephen K. Bannon. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
This is Jack Maxey sitting in the catbird seat for Stephen K. Bannon. This is episode 276, one of our Saturday specials. Hong Kong, will America confront the CCP? We've got just had an amazing show with amazing guests. I'm going to hand it back over to Steve so we can get the next one.
I got to tell you, incredibly powerful. I want to bring on Jack Leung now. There's a question a lot of people have been asking to follow this closely. Jack, tell us what happened at Hong Kong Airport on Wednesday evening. Can you describe to our audience what went down?
Yeah, so it was just completely crazy, really. Basically, there was video footage that was flying around, and the police uploaded it to their Facebook page in the afternoon, and it showed a police officer getting attacked with a knife in the afternoon during a protest. And basically, the man who in question, right, who allegedly stabbed him, attempted to board a flight to London just before midnight the same day, like 5 minutes before midnight. The plane had left the gate. It was taxiing. Air traffic control told it to return to the gate, and he was arrested on the plane. So I don't know if you've seen that movie Argo, when they're like literally at the gate of the airport and trying to, get away from Iran and stuff, like really just like that. But he didn't make it. And I think in terms of his prison sentence, if convicted, he's probably looking at about, well, I would say an attempted murder charge and probably at least a decade or more in prison. So it's very, very sad, but crazy. It was just a rumor at first, and it was subsequently confirmed. Just crazy scenes.
Jack, is the resistance dying down, or are the Hong Kong people even more determined to get their freedom? What's actually happening in Hong Kong right now as far as the resistance to this crackdown by the CCP and the arrest of literally thousands of people over the last couple of days?
Well, right now everything's quite quiet because the police presence is ridiculous, like stopping and searching random people, especially if you are young, at like completely random times during commuting hours in the morning and the afternoon. So because the police presence is so big, not much is happening. I think once that has died down in a few weeks, things are really going to erupt. Like, this is not the end or the dying down of anything. It's just, we're not stupid, nobody's going to do something reckless and get themselves thrown in prison for 10 years under the national security law. So we just have to wait for our opportunity to strike in probably a few weeks, I would say. And then I think it will be even more intense than what we saw last year, really, because people are just so angry and furious. But yeah, I would say keep an eye out. Next few weeks, things are going to get really very big, I think.
Jack Leung, thank you very much. You were on a couple of months ago and gave us a very stark warning of what was going to happen in this national security law. So thank you very much for joining us.
Yes.
Miles, I want to turn back to Miles Guo for a second. You had Moli, you've had people. Is there an alternative to China from the CCP? Is the concept of the new federal state? We've got about 5 or 6 minutes. Walk our audience through. What are you and other leaders of this movement trying to accomplish by this new federal state? Why is it going to be different than what the CCP already offers the Chinese people?
Thank you, sir. I think all the world guided the CCP cheated many years. See, China, even CCP gone, and nobody can control the China. That's a totally lie. It's the Wall Street American media, and this is the greedy Wall Street guy is with the CCP propaganda liar. With new federal state, we can guarantee all of the world. Now we have more than 500 million Chinese follow us. They want freedom, rule of the law, and free religion. If it take down the CCP, all the Chinese can take down the firewall. They can know the West side what is happen. No Wall Street brainwash the money and the CCP propaganda outside. It's CCP. It cannot one force influence the Chinese. Chinese must be very peaceful, can make really from Constitution, from the world, democracy side, follow American side, follow American Western world. That's why, China, I think you look at Chinese never promote another country. China can have the good sample Hong Kong and Taiwan. China can very peaceful transaction to democracy, freedom. No war, no is the too much inside the world. Don't be worried, because you look at Hong Kong, you look at Taiwan, you look at Singapore. Chinese must be have this is the culture and education can control everything smoothly. Transaction to world get region organization.
Okay.
That's where we are.
The CCP, we only got a couple minutes left, but the CCP says that 1.4 billion people, they're not ready for democracy. They're too unruly, it's too chaotic, it's too big a country, it's got too many still problems with the environment, that it would just descend into total chaos, civil war, and a return to warlordism. What do you say?
No, that you look at Hong Kong, you look at Taiwan, you look at me. We are never used as broken the law. We are anti-CCP. We still keep follow the rule of the law. We are want to take it down the CCP. I want the world to use the truth with America and the world really elite people, just people. CCP is hooligan. It is a criminal group. That's why American President Trump, you cannot with the hooligan and the criminal group Xi Jinping as personal relationship. That's a very helpful CCP goes stronger. You must be Xi Jinping, CCP, kill America any second. Now, high priority, stop American people die from the CCP virus. That's a high priority. Another priority, CCP must be take full responsibility to American and the world people to die by coronavirus. Then find out the truth. Why is the coronavirus in China, from China? China no data, no cooperation to give any information by all the mask, give American people more people to die. Even now, I worry CCP put a new virus go to kill America kill America again, make a trouble give President Trump. Trump president can take down CCP, we believe him. I want the Trump president really now stop Xi Jinping personal relationship. That's too ridiculous. That's where Hong Kong Chinese get fear.
So to wrap this up, and Jack, we'll pass back to you, Miles Grow. You're saying that this decision is going to come in the next couple of weeks, that don't worry about being too tough. If you're too tough, you're helping the Hong Kong people and you're helping the Chinese people, because the CCP will collapse and that will lead to freedom. And if the Chinese people are ready, new federal, state, and other operations, other organizations can offer a different alternative based upon the rule of law, democracy, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of assembly, the basic freedoms that other people in the world have. I want to thank all of our distribution partners today that come together. They do it every Saturday to put on these specials. This is another one that's fantastic. Jack, I want to toss it back to you in the studio.
Okay, guys, this is why we're in the fight. Today's show is why we do what we do. I hope everybody enjoyed it. We'll be back next